Hello everyone, we have a ton of stuff to cover today. Now before we start, please make sure to join the Hockey Brigade by subscribing if you are new. Now let's get to it. Starting off, the Edmonton Oilers have fired head coach Dave Tippett. This would have been shocking news earlier in the year for the franchise as the team started hot with a 16-5-0 record before going 7-13-3 in their last 23 games. This side currently has him out of a playoff spot, and MoneyPuck.com only gives him a 39.7% chance of making the postseason. Those odds are relatively low, and it doesn't help that they have lost both of their games since coming back from the All-Star break, and by a combined score of 8-1, meaning Tippett really wasn't likely to be around much longer if the team kept it up, and management just decided, hey, coming back from the break, you've lost 2 in a row, you're done, and this was his third season, but it was not the charm for him. You know how they say third time's a charm? It was not the charm for Dave, who finishes with a record of 95, 62, and 14 as the Oilers head coach, and a 1-7 record in the playoffs, including the qualifying round where they had that really awful upset against Chicago. Over in Montreal, we also saw another head coach get fired yesterday, and that was Dominic Ducharme, and he has never ever got to coach a full season with the Habs, and he finishes with a record of 23, 46, and 14 in 2 partial seasons with Montreal. Now, the first year was definitely much better, and it had some hope for the Habs as the regular season he went 15, 16, and 7, and then his team went on to reach the Stanley Cup Finals, lost in 5 games, and then this year things kind of got flipped. 8-30-7 at the moment, and I really don't think it was all his fault due to the roster that was put together and the losses of Carey Price and Shea Weber, but they weren't getting results. Coaches have to try to find ways to win, and with a franchise like this, they were not really about that, and so they decided to get rid of him. And then they flipped the script, that is Montreal, and surprisingly hired Hall of Fame player Martin St. Louis. And that is really cool, although I know that obviously for Dominic that's a hard loss, but according to the score, Marty was coaching Pee Wee hockey in Connecticut at the time of the hire, but he doesn't view this role with the Canadiens as a part-time thing, an interim role. The legendary winger had this to say about his job status, quote, "I'm not coming here to be a substitute teacher. I have every intention of being here a long time, but I'll have to prove myself again and earn it," end quote. And he'll have 37 games to shed that title of interim, if it is even there, but he's looking to have some fun along the way too, saying, quote, "If there's anything this team needs right now, it's to have fun. When these guys were in Pee Wee, they had fun. So I'm probably the most qualified guy right now," end quote. We'll get to see this opportunity for Marty to prove himself at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time against Washington, while also trying to keep his guys loose and have fun. I don't exactly expect it to go very well because this team is not built very well at the moment, and they have had those losses of Price and Weber. But I really hope for St. Louis that he can have some success and then coach them going forward. That'd be really cool. Now, unfortunately, the last topic of the day is not as fun. Really not fun at all unless you're somebody that doesn't like this player, and that is Boston Bruins goalie Tuukka Rask retiring from the NHL. The Finnish netminder finishes first all-time for wins by a Boston goalie with 308 and is tied with Tim Thomas for first all-time for the Bruins save percentage with a minimum of 30 games played. In his time with the franchise, he won a Vezina Trophy and had only 4 seasons with a goals above average of 2.50 or higher, and along with that, he owned a 57-46 record in the playoffs with a 2.22 goals against average. He's a guy that when I was a kid, I always liked watching him. I was a little bit older when he really got his footing in the early 2010s. But I really was getting back into hockey, and he was a guy that I levitated towards, and I did like Tim Thomas as well. Wasn't a huge Bruins guy, but something about those Boston goaltenders, they're always so fun to watch, and it just seems like, unfortunately for him, returning from injury was not the right move. He is either not recovered, something's not right for this experienced veteran goalie that is very good over his career, but I will have to say, after those 4 starts that didn't go his way, I wish him nothing but the best as he enjoys life outside of the NHL, and I would really, really like to see him, if he was a coach, whether that be in Finland or be here. I would love to see him be a coach. Again, whether that be goalie coach or a head coach, whatever, it'd be really cool to see that. So, with all that being said, what are your thoughts on all this crazy news? Let me know down below in the comments. And before you go, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the Hockey Brigade if you are new, want to see more hockey content, and like this video. Everybody stay safe. Have a great night. You go love hockey, all right? Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.